No,
Hi, Emily.
Hi.
I don't know if Happy's coming.
She just left here.
Oh, okay.
I'm still at the stand, so she's making her way home. And I think she's going to be a minute or two late.
Okay. Sorry about my cat.
Oh, it's fine.
It's refusing to participate here. Can you please sit down?
Do you watch PBS at all, the News Hour? There's one of the contributors on it who has a cat that has quite a following.
That's great.
It comes in and it lays on a corner of a couch. And if it's not there, people are contacting the station. Is cat all right? No.
That's awesome.
Oh my goodness, Liza, you are such a picture, you and your cat. Mm.
She's a demanding creature. She's very old. You don't get the way. Whatever she wants, she gets. Should we call this meeting to order?
Okay,
How's the cat?
7:04.
Yeah. All right. So this meeting is called to order. What is it? 7:05.
7:05, okay.
Well, does anybody have any news that is non-Ag Day related? I guess we should start there.
Is there any such news?
Is everybody enjoying this nice cool weather and a little bit of rain we got?
Yeah. What, it's supposed to get down into the 40s tonight?
I think so.
Oh.
Has anybody put pumpkins out for sale?
We did.
You did?
We put a
Yeah.
few out.
I was just debating if I should do it this weekend or if I should wait.
Yeah.
Oh no. Go for it.
Or just admit it's fall.
It's a cool weekend. People would probably buy them.
Yeah. All right. Well, should we just move on to talking about Ag Day? Yeah. Sure. All right. Ag Day 2022 review.
Hooray.
I've heard mostly positive things from people. The select board thought it was lovely, apparently. The library concert that was going on at the same time was a huge hit, and they would like to do it every year in coordination with Ag Day. So that's wonderful.
What were they doing there?
They had an Ag Day concert this year. They had a bluegrass band come and play on the lawn for free. And apparently they had quite the turnout. They were totally thrilled. They want to do it every year.
Do they think Ag Day helped grow their audience?
Yeah, they said they had the booth at Ag Day and they raised some money by having books for sale at the library. They raised a decent amount. I can't remember what the amount was. They told us. Also, I think they had pretty good engagement with people dropping stuff off too. But I think lots of people downtown wanting to do different things. I think they felt it was a very positive event and they want to do it again. So great. I think it helps us.
Yeah.
My dad said he went to the concert after Ag Day, and you could tell people had all been shopping. They were all carrying flowers and stuff.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
Wow.
And Lise said that the housing foundation that she's on, they had a great turnout at Ag Day. They got I think they've been looking for more members and interest, and they had a page and a half of email.
Wow.
Wanting to be on their email list and stuff, which was their goal. So they were happy with that.
So is that the thing that has to do with the park, or that's something different?
No, they were just involved with the park because they're like a nonprofit related to increasing affordable housing in Concord.
Oh.
So I think they had been in some of the park meetings trying to help. They aren't directly associated with the park.
I know the Rotary Club and the Pollinator Committee were both very happy with their
Oh, good.
reception.
Oh. I think I heard from the light plant with their heat pump and what is it? energy coaches. They had a very large number of people sign up for that, so they were very happy. They did a little bit complain about the music level, but they were also right next to / sort of in front of the music, so they were probably in the worst spot. But they were also totally fine with it, said that was a minor thing. And I heard from the umbrella, they said everything went really, really well. That was really nice. They really liked the vegetable prints. That worked really well. They had a lot of kids engaged in that, so they were really happy. Who else did we hear from?
How did the veggie races go? That was a very slick new track.
It got a total makeover that morning.
It did. Last minute as usual, but it looked good.
It looked great.
Yeah.
That went really, really well. Basically, because Vanderhoof subsidized, well, they paid for all the wheels and stuff. We had enough wheels. So we did the math. We think they made over 200 cars.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
which is pretty impressive. So it was, we don't know what over 200, but we know there were 200 sets were still not accounted for at the end of the day. And some people did return them, which is nice. And if anybody asks at your farm stands or wherever, can I give these back? Yes, they can drop them by Vanderhoof anytime. All in the entire next year, they'll take them back, and so we can reuse them for next year. So I think that went pretty well. And I know Lisa's dad was super. He was great. I think he wasn't sure at first, and then he got totally into it. He stayed for a full hour. And my brother was there the whole time. Robbie and my friend Amy were there. They had a great time as usual. They got a lot of feedback from people who had loved doing it last year and were super excited to come back and do it. Again, a lot of feedback from the kids. How there was one kid who was like, "Oh, I was not looking forward to this at all, but then I remembered the veggie race would be there, and so it's fun."
Oh, wow.
So that was awesome. And a lot of kids said they kept their cars for like weeks afterwards until the vegetables rotted, which is sort of sad, but also I'm very glad that they thoroughly enjoyed the activity. So that was great. And the Minuteman Tech kids, they were great. I think that was maybe more of them next year, but they were wonderful. They were super helpful.
I had a thought I'd like to pass on for chat.
Hey, Steve.
Yep.
Sorry, I missed it. What did you say?
I said I had a thought I'd like to pass on.
Yeah.
I sent an email to Liza to mention that this is a farmer's market, and it's primarily to showcase Concord farms. And I feel that we gave up too much of the main real estate in the center of the market to non-farm groups. And I was thinking if the music and a lot of the other non-farm entities were at the far end of the market and to drag people through the market to get to where the music is, and the farmers be more together. I know we wanted to intermix things, but it seemed like there was quite a concentration of non-farm right in the heart of things.
Yeah, I think that's a good point and well taken for next year, like redistributing like where we put the farmers and where the music in particular is. Yeah.
So maybe,
I just walked down there and I agreed that the music was very nice, but I was glad that I wasn't right next to
Right.
it.
so the music you're saying might be best down on the end where you were parked, Steve?
Well, I was thinking maybe that could be kind of in the middle of the road there, and some
Right.
of the other groups circled around.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
I think we did have like a little bit of trouble with like setup. The police didn't close the road in time, and we definitely had people not quite sure where they were supposed to be, because they were supposed to be a little bit more spread out towards Steve. There wasn't supposed to be that gap. But I think, next year we'll have it figured out a little bit better. But I do think probably moving the music is a good idea. And we did have that last minute edition of Nat Arena, which we figured out how to do. But if we had known ahead of time, we might be able to plan to intersperse everybody a little bit better.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me also.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
setup is our big area that we can improve, like the layout and also just the coordinations, because like there was a gap that there wasn't supposed to be, and a
Yeah.
car that was stuck.
Right.
There seemed to be some confusion about a car that was like not moved, and then when it was movable, they couldn't really get out. I don't know quite who that was or what that was about, but
I don't know who the person was, but they were in,
one of the spaces, right?
yeah, they were in Brigham's space and we couldn't find them. And then I think by the time they finally got there to move their car, I don't think the police wanted them to move it because it was too many people.
Right.
It was a cleaning lady.
Oh,
Really?
And she parked where she shouldn't have parked and
Yeah.
and went and did some cleaning. When she came back, she was trapped and there was nothing to be done.
yeah.
Right.
I think the other surprise that during setup was the police cruiser was not planned for taking up space next to the Shimonis. That was a surprise that I don't think was planned until right when the police cruiser showed up. So that also impacted like space on that side because that took up 6 feet that wasn't supposed to be there. Or not that it wasn't supposed to be there. We didn't know it was going to be there. I should rephrase.
People bought a lot of our eggplant for the veggie race. That worked. The kids were so cute. I mean, they like select one, and this one little boy, it was like he was really nervous that it might get mixed back in with the other ones, and it's like they were weighing it, and it was just like very cute.
How was everybody's sales?
We just sold cherry tomatoes and eggplant, and we did like $750, I guess, which seemed pretty good. I don't know how to compare it with anybody else, but we sold 73 pints of cherry tomatoes.
That's very good. Yeah, for us, things were good.
Yeah, we started off very slow, but eventually it picked up.
I felt kind of bad for you, Steve, because it seemed that you were pushed further out than you were last year.
Yeah, there
Further
was a
down.
little gap in there.
I mean, that you weren't like,
It wasn't contiguous.
yeah.
I know he became an island. That wasn't the plan.
Right.
It was the umbrella and the Concord library were like not quite where they were supposed to be, which is sort of what happened.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't supposed to be that far away.
Next year we have to stick you right in the middle.
I know.
Yeah.
Our sales were good. Our sales were not as good as last year, but I think last year for us felt like crazy. This year felt busy, but not overwhelming.
Do you think there were less people this year than last?
It depends on who you ask. It seems like some organizations think there was more people than last year, and some think that it was about the same, and some I was thinking it was a little bit less than last year, but I don't know. What did everybody else think?
All we could see was really by the library. That seemed quite crowded most of the time there.
Yeah.
Is there any way to count or gauge or?
Pretty hard.
Yeah.
The farmers market we attend, like a couple of them try to do like a count every hour where they like go and try to count how many people are in the market in an hour or like in a 5-minute period, but it's not a great measure.
Right.
If you had someone standing at one end with the counter, I mean, if they counted just people going in one direction, I don't know if that would give you any idea or not, but.
Take a nice picture and you can count them at night.
Yeah. I did take some crowd shots. It did look very busy.
Are you volunteering, Steve?
I'll take a picture.
I think turnout was pretty good. I mean, I think the weather also was in our favor, so that was really helpful.
Yeah,
A lot of bicycles and dogs.
So many dogs.
yeah.
Yes, the dogs, it was very popular. Bring your dog, which I would not have guessed.
Yeah, neither.
Someone was saying they felt bad for the goat because dogs were kind of harassing it in its cage.
Yeah,
Mm, mm.
the goat was pretty cute though.
Yeah.
I was pretty glad Ricky brought the goat. I think they did pretty well. I think.
Happy, how was it? We lost Grace. How was it for the Shimonis?
I think they did all right. We just didn't have that much to sell, so they didn't come back with much.
Mhm.
That part was good.
Yeah, I talked to Grace briefly afterwards. She said she hasn't sold that many potatoes at once ever, which is great.
Yeah.
You had some very cute little gourds.
Oh, those
Yeah.
are Tennessee dancing gourds.
Oh,
They're adorable. So yeah, so I guess we'll do it next year.
You wanna pick the
Yep.
date?
I was just gonna say that, do we want to look at a date and already nail that down?
I think it would help, especially, I was very disappointed in that bookstore final appearance. And so if it takes deciding a year ahead to get the best window and get stuff in there, I think we might need to do that.
What was that? I didn't get that.
I was disappointed in what they ended up with in the bookstore. In fact, I didn't see any artifacts in the store window after they got through stuffing it with books. And
Oh.
so if it takes us a year ahead to get a book window, that would be, that week instead of 2 weeks before. I think that might be helpful too.
To reserve the date, I mean, like that week date, yeah.
Yeah.
you want to set up a date?
Let's-
What was this? The second Saturday? It seems like a pretty good time.
Yeah,
So that would be like the 9th, maybe?
Shall I ask Leonard if he wants to come?
yes.
Oh, brilliant.
Okay. Sorry, I dropped off. I was driving through town and my truck needs gas. So I'm sorry about all the dinging and beeping and buzzing.
Not a problem.
The 9th of September. What is it?
There's something about thinking about the 9th of September next year. That's
Horrifying.
a little daunting.
Imagine your plant plan.
Right.
Rush right in there and get it up.
Should we vote on this? Is this something we need to vote on? Oh, I don't know what the alternative is if we don't pick this date, so,
I have a question.
yeah.
There is something happening within 2 years, I think, but it's worth just knowing that it's out there, namely, it's an anniversary of the Revolutionary War,
Oh, yeah.
250th anniversary, something like that. And it seems to me that the last time there was an anniversary, I mean, I remember Steve being on his tractor in the parade, and it seems to coincide right about Ag Day time. So you could set on the date, and then the next step would be to make sure that it doesn't conflict with any town event.
That's not going to be in April?
Well, you would think,
Let's double check.
yes.
Yeah, I think we we should do a tentative date today, not a final. 'cause
Not a final.
Okay.
We always do a check of what else is.
So I propose September 9th as the tentative date.
Excellent.
Anybody?
I'll second it.
Okay,
Say aye.
so
Great.
all eyes.
All eyes.
Ayes.
Eyes.
Okay,
All eyes on September 9th.
All right. So we'll do that as our tentative date. We'll talk to the town and see what is conflicting. So we move on to number 4 on the agenda, the quick update on Concord Farm videos. Yes.
okay.
Yes.
This is the quick update. The Saltbox Farm one is finished. It is online. She does have to edit the caption because it says September right now and it was filmed in April. Dan, I think she said she wanted to come back and interview your farm manager.
Okay, and of course she came, our farm is completely out of control as far as weeds. She came to photograph, with weeds everywhere. And we have one field that's relatively well weeded, and she photographed the other fields. It's like, yeah, she didn't say that, so let me send her an email right now to see if we can set that up.
She might be on vacation for like a week
Oh.
or something like that. So if you don't get a response back, that's why.
Okay.
But I think she wanted some footage talking to him.
Okay,
She originally had talked to Ricky Marshall about doing something, but then they had a conflict and so it didn't work out. But I was hoping to get one of him. Still, I do think he was on board with the idea. Is there anybody else you can think of who maybe would like to be filmed in the fall?
Joe Philippe, is he? I don't know, has he got berries this year?
Yeah, he has some, but I think it's been rough because of the drought, so not as many as usual. But we could ask him.
Sorry, who was this?
Silver leaf, the raspberry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, who's doing the raspberries?
Silver leaf.
Oh,
I did have someone at the market mention that they had seen our video. They had watched it on YouTube.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I did get somebody tell me they were like, oh, all of a sudden I was listening and I heard your voice. And I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
God, someone asked me, oh, you gotta go see this. And I said, not interested. We can't all be as photogenic as Steve.
Yeah.
But I think that's the update for now, I think, on those. She's still working on churning them out. If we have other farms who would like to be done this fall, I mean, it's hard, obviously, as we get further along, there's less stuff to look at. But there's always next year.
Well, Arena was interested in being in the market. Maybe they
Yeah, that's a good thought.
would be interested. Lots of history.
I can talk to
These
Tori.
are the flowers he's doing, or,
Yeah, he's doing some perennials.
right?
And then Chip was in the original like compilation video, but we don't have like a
Profile. I was
Yeah.
thinking him for Shimoni's. We don't have a profile of that.
Right.
So,
that was in the combo. Yeah, that's true.
but I think Tori's game to keep doing these too. So we could also talk about extending them into next year. I know it gets hard in the winter, so. That's it. That's the update.
So we don't have like anything right now. We've got a couple like rows of tomatoes and some zucchini. We don't really have, our farm is not video worthy at this point. It's just dead, weeds, very sad little 2 rows of zucchini and summer squash and a few flowers. Not video worthy. very pathetic.
Could we do this? Could we convince Tori to come back and visit you in the spring maybe and like
Absolutely.
do some planting?
Yes, that we could I'm 100% on board with that, but just not right now.
Totally understand.
No.
I did think about Dan too and like his mom's. I don't know if he'd be into it, but it is Dan. What's his name?
Dan?
Colonial Gardens, isn't that Dan?
Dan
yeah,
Gerlio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would be a good one to even go into his poinsettias.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like a little
Oh.
later. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and Brigham does Christmas trees, right? But probably brings them in.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you could also go to Chris and ask him about the mums. Of course, he can't show you the whole process, and maybe that's another one for next year. But you know, he's well known for his mums and asters.
They've been flying out the door. He's almost completely done with 8-inch pots, so.
Yeah.
Well, I think we still have a fair amount of other people. Maybe we can keep going next year and just keep doing them. But
Yeah.
they're really nice little videos. If Tori,
Where do you see them? Where does one see them?
They're
On the
on-
website?
yeah, they're on YouTube. We have a link on the Concord Ag Day webpage over to there's like a playlist on the Minuteman one. So as she finishes them, they're going up there.
I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but when I go there, I've had difficulty finding stuff, and it doesn't seem like there's any particular order to it, but maybe it's just how I'm accessing it.
I think if you go to just the Minuteman page, it looks like chaotic. But if you go to our webpage and then click over from there, you just see the farm stuff.
Oh, okay.
But I do think once we get a few more, like she's got a couple more that are like close to being done. So once those go on there, maybe this winter, that might be something that like we could be promoting. Is like, well, we're closed, but look at all the great stuff we do the rest of the year. Or, well, we're not all closed. Steve's open, but. Should we move on? We are revisiting the topic of, is it time for new chairs and a new clerk? Since we put this off in the spring.
Anybody want to be the clerk? And be very behind on things.
Can I ask a question? Would it continue to be meetings by Zoom? Would Zoom continue?
Zoom has been given the go-ahead to continue. So if we would like to continue on Zoom, we can continue on Zoom. If we would like to do some meetings in person, we can also talk about that, but it is available as an option legally for us to continue on Zoom.
Okay. Well, I think if it continued on Zoom, then I would be able to volunteer to do that. But if it were done live, I'm trying to imagine writing this down, like in the meeting tonight, if I had my eyes closed and had to be keeping track of what people were saying. Well, I don't know if I don't think I could do that. But in a Zoom meeting, there's a recording of it. Is that right, Dan? There's a recording?
Yeah, there is. I mean, it's a mixed bag. Like right today, I'm just trying to do notes because it means like, I mean, we have some meetings that are an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it's a very laborious process to like re-go through the entire thing to do the minutes that way. But I mean, that's what I've been doing. But you know, I should have done what people proposed when I first took it, which is, you know, beginning and, you know, anything, decisions that are made. I mean, I don't know. It's easy when you start looking at the Zoom to get interested in the, you know, everything people are saying and, you know, put out some fairly involved minutes, but it's probably not necessary for, you know, the purposes of having minutes. But
I know now when they take minutes in the pollinator committee, they start with kind of almost a Excel page with the agenda items on the left-hand side with spaces between. Then they just fill in a few notes under each agenda item, and looks like a much easier way of doing things than
Oh,
people usually do.
Yeah, I mean, what I tend to do is take an old one and then overlap over it, which got me into trouble this month because I thought I had done the new one and then I realized it's only partway done. But yeah, certainly, Joe, if you want to give it a try, or I mean,
Well, I guess I feel I'm not a farmer, so I'm not busy farming, and you all are, and I would like to contribute to this group, and I think maybe that's about the only thing I could do would be to write things down.
Actually, more of the in-person meetings are recorded too, I think, aren't they?
they
How
haven't
would that-
been.
No,
I
So-
think, well, they
Someone
could
with
be.
a microphone?
we could bring a tape recorder.
Right.
But then you would have to listen to us twice. I agree with Steve. Like when I did the minutes, I would have the agenda, and then you can just fill in like what a little bit of what was said, like the highlights, like if any decisions were made. Doesn't need to be like a
Yeah.
running commentary.
I skipped our first agenda item, by the way, today, which was review the minutes, which are from June, which is actually a meeting that we did online, but the recording was lost. So it is much more sparse minutes as a result, if you would like to take a look at that one.
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
And
I
we
did.
cer-
It seemed to be pretty succinct.
Yeah,
Yes.
which is fine.
Yeah.
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 I mean, the other thing is if we're having in-person meetings, I'd certainly be happy, and I think a lot of us would maybe take some notes that we could pass on to you for your compiling, an official thing.
All right.
So, I mean, to me, it was really helpful, like when Liza took minutes also, and I think Melissa's done that before, and if you want to get out, all you have to do is show up about 10 or 15 minutes late. And then Melissa will do it.
Yeah, you need a break.
So can I propose Joe for the job?
I have no choice but to volunteer. Yes.
Yeah.
Do we need to vote on it?
I think we do it. So wait,
Yeah.
Dan is nominating Joe.
Yeah, for clerk.
Not working. I will second that nomination.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All the ayes have it.
All the eyes.
Joe, you're the new clerk.
When would this begin?
Next meeting.
I'll do this one,
Not
and
this
then you could start up the next one, if that works.
Okay. Okie dokie. Let it be
That's
so.
Okay.
All right, we have a new clerk.
Mark.
Now the question comes, would you like a new chair or new co-chairs?
I think that we've made out very good
Oh,
with a closed system this year, and with COVID and all, it's not been quite a normal year, so I would be happy continuing with what we have if everybody else is.
Well, I guess the big question is, do the co-chairs feel like they want to continue to take this on? I mean, it's a lot of work.
yeah. Please do.
I don't know. You want to go back to it, Emily?
Emily's not even on the committee, so
But I have a point of view,
okay.
which is, and you've heard it from me before. I want to encourage you to rotate chairs. I think it's, and indeed, if Henry Dane, our select board liaison, was more with us, I think we would hear it from him as well, that it is town policy that committees rotate chairs, and for good reason. It spreads the work around. To serve as a chair or a co-chair really gives you insight and knowledge about the committee and its work, and there's the continuity. They're just, and it shares the burden. My sense is that co-chairing is another really effective way of sharing the burden. I think Happy and I was sort of co-chair to Happy being chair 2 years in a row. And I think it's a lot to ask of people that they continue and continue. Co-chairing, and it's a small group and people have done it, people can help from the sidelines. Should I just keep saying it? Choose new co-chairs. I think that's the right thing to do. How long have Liza and Melissa been doing it? At least 2 years. That's enough.
Not a full 2
They do
years.
it
is it?
so well.
No, really.
That's my problem. It's like, I don't know.
I mean,
I understand what you're saying.
Dan, people graduate from clerk to chair.
That is the usual, yeah.
Because as clerk, you learn a lot.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you have all of these emeritus co-chairs in the wings to help you out.
Well, I would do it if I had a co-chair, I guess, but. I don't know.
I feel like I should say something. I don't mind continuing to do it. I have been chair now for but I've been a co-chair the whole time for almost 2 years. I think Melissa has been for like a year and a half-ish. Is that right?
Yeah, it was less because, yeah, I took over from Lisa.
Yeah. I don't mind, as long as I get to keep Melissa as a co-chair, I don't mind doing it another year, but I'm not doing it by myself. So I guess I would say I don't mind continuing, but I also understand very much Emily's point, and I also don't want to do this forever. So
You could start succession planning now.
So if I commit to another year of doing this, maybe the other members can think about what they would like to do next. And maybe we could.
Yeah, I am happy to switch out. I also think that Liza, you have been the main chair. I'm like an assistant chair.
Oh.
So I also could you could have a new assistant chair, or I could run do more of the emails and things.
Sure, we could do that. We could
adjust roles within it. Grace, we also haven't heard from you. Would you like to be the next chair or the next clerk?
No.
Good being honest. Good.
I don't want to keep doing if somebody wanted to, but I am, from the burden standpoint, I have not really been burdened because Liza does so much.
So I feel like I haven't really done a whole lot with the meetings. So let me be more disciplined and show up to the meetings, and then I would consider being something next year. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Okay.
Also, thank you for your honesty.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make something up. I'm not gonna lie. I just feel like I don't always show up, and I don't think that's fair.
She's member in training.
Member in
There
training.
you go.
I
So-
also have been doing I do not want to be monopolizing our Instagram. I don't know if anyone else has Instagram yet. I think I was only given this job because I was the only one with Instagram. And
Love that you have it, because I don't want to do it.
yeah, Liza can't have something else, but I was just curious if anyone has developed a new hobby or enthusiasm for Instagram. Steve? No?
No,
Sorry, Melissa, you're stuck with it.
You do such a good job.
Emily's turning. I'm finding I'm a minimal Instagrammer, so I think we're not overly doing it. But I also, if someone was like, "Yeah, I've been watching this Instagram and we could be doing more." No. Okay, I'll carry on. Send me pictures though.
Yes. We all should be sending Melissa more pictures. That is true. Everybody.
All right.
I
Yeah,
also,
any-
I do really have dreams of going to people's farms and taking the pictures myself. I think that would be very fun for me and for everybody else. I just we do have a new farm truck. Maybe I'll get out more. I just like I don't get out a lot. But that is an idea I had for engaging more, because then I'd get to engage more.
Well, you're welcome over anytime.
Okay, thanks. I'll see how I do.
Okay. So we're going to go with Liza and Melissa are gonna do one more year, and then at that point we'll shift to someone else. Is that the idea?
It sounds good to me. Then somebody
we
can
need
step up.
we need a vote or anything, or?
Probably.
we need a vote and a recording in the minutes.
Yep.
Okay.
And yeah, and we have an idea of Dan and Grace, maybe.
Sometime in the future.
Or Grace
Well, we'll see.
clerking, Dan and Joe chairing, just so we're all thinking about it.
Can't forget Steve, though.
Steve has
I've been there.
Been there, done that.
he's run many a meeting.
Okay, so I propose that we continue with Liza and Melissa as co-chairs for a period of 1 year. Does anyone want to second it?
I'll second it.
Okay,
I just as an aside, I think it's probably wise for us to do it at this time of year so that the cycle of Ag Day finished and we can start afresh with new ideas and direction. So yeah, I think this time of year is better for us to change chairs.
I agree.
I think another advantage along that line too is that new people are appointed in the spring at the town meeting, so they wouldn't be completely new at election time.
Nice. Shall we vote on this? All in favor?
I
I,
do you dissent, Emily?
Peanut Gallery says aye.
Thanks, Emily. I think your
You
point is
never-
well taken.
she never asked us if anybody's opposed.
Anybody opposed? I guess I should ask that too. Can we skip back in the agenda to reviewing the minutes, because I forgot that. The minutes I sent out, Dan nicely did, from June 9th. This was a Zoom meeting, but the Zoom recording was lost, so the minutes are a little sparser. Anybody have any corrections?
Oh. Emily?
Nope, haven't laid eyes on them. Otherwise, you'd be sure there'd be corrections.
Absolutely. I'm famous for my spelling errors, so yes. I did actually notice one right now. Happy doesn't have a last name in here, so we probably should put that in. Anybody else? No, no other
I
thing?
think they look good.
Minutes are good.
So I'm going to move that we approve the minutes as amended with Happy's last name added.
Seconded.
Melissa seconded,
I'll second it.
Dan seconded, great. All right, minutes approved. Great. Any other business we should discuss tonight?
Oh, it's a busy time surely, but I was wondering if there might be a way that the farms could continue this celebration type atmosphere by just doing some activity for your customers, or providing a photo opportunity or a giveaway or something during the month of October. I had a customer come in the other day who said, 2 years ago, you had put the big tractor out in front of the greenhouse and decorated it, and kids were coming and taking their picture in front of the tractor, and they really loved it. I'd like to see you do it again. And so we said, oh, yes, we would do it again. But I think, if you did something, if you put a bunch of scarecrows out so that they could come and take their pictures with the scarecrows, or, something, just to continue the fun of farming during the month of October.
Does anybody have any activities planned for October right now?
Steve does, I'm
We
sure.
don't.
Oh,
You're
on mute.
muted, Steve. We can't hear you. Steve, you're muted.
Your microphone is off.
Yeah, we have a little tractor out a lot of the time for the kids. Old Alice Chalmers, about 1940 someplace. And they seem to like doing that.
They climb
Actually,
on
this Saturday, we're having our farm day here at the farm with a lot of equipment out for people to grab a hold of and sit on and talk about.
Hopefully not break.
Yeah, we have a farm cultivator that we used to bring out front, and I came out of the farm stand one day and there were about 6 or 7 people standing on top of it. And I kind of decided this was not a good idea. There are lots of sharp areas that if someone fell, it would be catastrophic. So, but a bunch of kids thought it would be cool to all stand on top of it, on top of the hood of it, which was probably not so good, but.
Well, we leave that one so it's not startable, but last year somebody did cut the ignition wires on it.
What?
Just surprising. Spark plug wires.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
Hmm.
All right, so if you're gonna do it, have security cameras, is what you're saying.
Yeah, what happened? There was talk about this. What happened with this pumpkin,
Smash.
cannon or whatever it was going to be?
Yeah, it was gonna be, I actually should touch base with her. I believe they were gonna try a codman again because they have pigs, and so that's the easiest way to get rid of them. But we had sort of told them like we would help promote that. So I will reach out to Laura and see what's going on with that.
Yeah. Be happy to help with something like that.
Sure. Yeah, I think mainly they were looking for promotion. I'm a little unclear. At one point we talked about the town sustainability department had maybe thought about doing it like, I don't know, somewhere on the town. like having like a dumpster or something like that for that, but then they were sort of like, well, we're a little bit overwhelmed right now enough with our composting program, so like don't advertise it. And then their director left, so I think they're slightly you know, reorganizing and trying to figure out, I don't want to add more to their plate because I think they are full right now. But I do think the Mothers Out Front group probably is still going ahead with it, so that would be a good place to touch base.
Yeah.
How did people's pumpkins do this year?
So far, so good.
Yeah, they haven't started rotting yet.
Right.
Won't be long. Public comment?
I'll just say hi, Lois Suarez, 34
Hey,
Everett,
Lois.
34 Everett Street, apartment 10B, Concord, Mass. Yeah, I really enjoyed being on the inside of the table. And thanks to Grace, I still have the verbena.
Oh, no.
That's who, I'm the person that was next to you.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
That was sweet of you. And to offer me the milk box chair after I had just gotten up. That's good. That was so sweet. They were next to us. I'm with the Pollinator Health Advisory Group, and I found that listening to your meetings, I begin to understand more of the farming and pollinators and plants in town than I had. So that's why I kind of enjoy coming and hearing the farm side thing. Yeah, I think that's mainly just that. I thought it was a beautiful day. And if farmers can offer up that kind of weather, wow.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
You lucked out for sure.
Well, thank you.
Sorry. Go. Sorry. He's jealous of the cat. So.
And one thing we had is we'd written to the high school, the green team at the high school, and we had two kids that helped us that day, which was really nice. And it was nice to hear, to talk with the kids. And like somebody came up to the booth, and it was something we wouldn't know anything about. And a kid in the middle school, she wanted to know something about her daughter could join some club that was sort of farmer plant oriented. And the young lady that was with us knew who, we had to refer and whatever. And I thought that was, they were just, and plus they had tattoos. But I went looking all over for stickers or something like that. And I couldn't find like butterflies or what I was looking for or leaves. And so they brought a few things from the schools that they use. They're interested, like the schools have gardens. I was surprised. I lived near Alcott School, and I was surprised. They have quite a garden in the back. It's not huge, but their sunflowers and everything looked luxurious. But somebody comes and waters them periodically, because I've been over in the evening and seen them water it. But
We donated those plants.
oh, okay. They're beautiful looking. Oh my
Thanks.
God. So the kids, and we had a lot of little kids that were quite interested. Of course, the butterflies got them interested, but then they're interested in, well, what do they eat? So that whole loop is, I think it's really important. That's my background, is early childhood education. And I always think it's really important to get the kids involved as much as we can. And, with farming or the whole plant thing is, the more kids involved, then the next generation knows what they are, instead of, no one thinks they go to the supermarket and it comes out of all plastic, cotton or plastic, what is it? Styrofoam on the bottom with plastic over the top, and they think that's where it comes from, which is sad. Anyway,
No, I think
thanks.
that's a
Flag Day was great.
Oh, good. I think that's a good point that I felt like this year between the racers, we had racers for like the entire period and also having like Muscataquid there with like an activity. There was a lot more stuff for kids, which parents were definitely into, which I think kept people in the area longer, which also was pretty nice. So that's just definitely something to think about in the future, especially if we have like a lot of interest from other nonprofits, is maybe having them focus on an activity, or what are they going to do also, like how are they going to engage with people, might be a good thing too. So something to think about.
Yeah, we gave away milkweed.
Yeah.
And then Isabel had 2 chrysalises in a container, like you could see them, and then she put a chunk of milkweed in there. So that kind of got kids asking questions to us.
Yeah, something
was
that's like
really-
really engaging. That's nice.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is a good idea with so many people being allergic to bees, but our bee man has a visual thing with like, it's kind of sort of like an ant farm where you can actually watch the bees inside with the honey.
Yeah.
So I don't know if introducing that with so many people allergic to bees is the smartest idea on something like that, but maybe he can take some pictures.
Something to think about.
Yeah, maybe we don't bring the bees. Maybe we don't.
I've seen those. Those are cool though.
They really are,
Yeah.
but no.
Maybe, is it possible like the pollinator people could visit you, Grace,
Sure.
to observe bees?
Yes. So he brings it and then he takes it back because apparently they're not supposed to be in there for so long.
Yeah,
But if we coordinated, a meeting with my bee guy and the pollinator committee so he could show them, sure.
yeah, I mean, at least some
I
people
can't
will,
speak for him, but
yeah,
I
but
can
it's
ask.
worth asking. Okay,
Sure.
Thanks.
Cool. Well, next meeting, October 13th on Zoom.
Okay,
What is that? That's the second Thursday.
sounds good.
Everybody like that date?
Yep.
Yeah.
I move to adjourn this meeting.
I
Can I
second it.
second that? Am I allowed to do that?
You are.
I will second it. I've wanted to do it all night, but I wasn't sure if I can do that yet. I will second
Sure.
something.
Great.
Yes, I will
All right,
second.
meeting adjourned. It's 8:01. Thank you all for joining us, and
Thank
we will
you.
see you all next month.
Good
You did a
timing.
1 hour meeting.